May I please request all of you to fill up your drinks and take a seat. Are we ready? Sumaya? Hi. How are you? Can everybody take their seats and fill their drinks so that we can start the evening? Okay, so my first guest for Hot Seat with Hello is, she's bold, she's beautiful. She's everything that you and I want to look like and definitely want to weigh like. A mother, a fitness expert, and a lady with a purposeful life. Ladies and ladies, put your hands together for Sumaya Dalmia. I'm right. Up next is a star who's fought all odds to reach where she is today. While ladies, you may have read about many Ranis and Maharanis in all our society magazines and in Hello, she is the real deal. She's a Maharani who spreads her noor wherever she goes. Ladies, put your hands together for Rani Kohinoor. Ladies, you can do a little better. It's for your own tribe. Louder. Namaste.
Namaste, that's right.
Well, up next. Well, when I just met her, she's like, "Oh, I did not even read my questions." I'm like, "Oh dear. Oh, okay. Well, sex, periods, menstruation. Oh shit! Did I say all the wrong words, the bad words? Did I? Hmm. Well, well, my next guest is someone who's broken the stereotype and has openly spoken about all these bad words that you ladies go, shh, gandi baat aise nahi kehte. So she's really, really spoken about all of it openly. She's brought woman and womanhood to the mainstream. Please put your hands together for Dr. Cuterus, Tanea, Dr. Tanea. Okay. So while we wait for our fourth hot seat member to just come, um, I'd sort of begin talking to you all also. So how do you feel to be here?
Listen, you're glowing as well, so it's fun. It's really nice to see the tribe rooting for the tribe. In fact, there are more people who I look up to in the audience than the ones you're here. They are the OGs. They are the original gangsters. Ruchika, Amrita, Nandini. These are all people I've grown up with. So there's a lot of emotional connect because they've actually led the way for all of us, and they've led the way to pick up people who are, people like us who are in alternative professions, not the mainstream banking and mainstream doctory. So, so the original gangster, there's one more there, Vidya Tikari, Amber Tikari. They are the OGs.
Of course they are.
So,
So, Tania, your thoughts on being here?
Firstly, sex, periods, and all are not bad words. So
Definitely they're not. I love them.
I
Like
love
I
them,
love talking
right?
about it all the time.
I mean, sex is very lovable.
Personal.
But yes, super excited to be here. Super excited to be screaming these words out in public as they should be.
Fantastic.
And woohoo!
Woo. Ladies, you can do a little better. Come on. This is your own tribe. Rani Sahiba, namaste.
Namaste.
How do we feel to be here?
Well, it's
I have to just say before you talk, you're looking fantastic.
thank you so
love
much.
you.
Thank you. I think it's very beautiful to be in the presence of such fabulosity, but I also appreciate the fact that finally people have started looking at transgender people for more than just being on the streets and in the brothels. And I think that the fact that, when there's a transgender person like me sitting and speaking so eloquently, people go into a shock. So I think it should not be shocking at all. I
It's
think
about time.
yes, I think it's about time that a womanhood came in, who is here, who has provided safe spaces for trans people and queer people for all these years, and really taken us out of the, in a way, not the closet also, but also from the brothels to kind of give us jobs in his
Absolutely.
organization. So
Couldn't
thank
have been
you.
better said. More power. Well, now that I have my fourth guest, let me introduce her. She's bubbly, she's sexy, she's everything that a bona fide South Delhi girl is or aspires to be. A girl who stuns in front of the camera, just like her mother, if I may add. My dear friend, a fashionista and a beauty influencer, Orvana Ghai. Ladies, come on. Oh, I do see some men here in support, so you all can also clap. Orvana, how do you feel to be here?
I'm still thinking,
Why did
who
I
were
not
you
read the
talking
question?
about? I'm like, that? Me? No. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so before we start our hot seat, let's give it up for the lady of the moment. Ladies, the one who's put all of this together and the one who always pulls the best show ever. Put your hands together for our editor-in-chief, Ruchika Mehta. Woohoo!
I have never been so relieved in an event with Akshat taking charge. Oh my God, I am always here doing what he has, and it's a breeze. I'm a guest today. But ladies and friends, welcome to the Hello and DLF Promenade Mad Hatter Sundown, and thank you so much, each one of you, for being here. And there we are for my very, very dear guests who've flown in probably from different parts of India, which Akshat, you will be letting them know. Thank you so much. Each one of you have actually been handpicked, let me tell you, by the Hello team. And there's a reason why you're all here, which will unfold as the evening goes by with the questions. Each one of you has a story to tell, which we're going to share with our friends. So let's get going. Thank you. And let's not, I mean, sadly, I don't see a drink in anybody's hand, and that is not how we raise a toast. We need a drink in everybody's hand in the next five minutes. Otherwise, we're shutting the music down.
Yeah. So before we start the hot seat, everybody go grab a drink.
But thank you, everyone. Enjoy this. There's lots happening this evening. There's music, there's food, there's a band coming on. So have a good evening, and I'm going to see you all around. Thank you.
Ladies, come on, for Ruchika. Okay. So, ladies, we all know what you're here for. We're on the hot seat, but we're not contesting for a hamper. But all of you have a beautiful story to tell. And I think that's what we're competing here for. Not really competing, but we're here to share and to sort of make people aware. And if you can change somebody's life with your own journey, I think that'll make all the difference, right? Yes. So the answers need to be very candid and very, very honest. Audience, you all have a liometer, which is either a boo or a ooh. So you all can just boo them if you do not like their answer. And if you really like it, you can give a thumbs up, all right? So is it going to be a two-way thing or it's going to be just a one-way? Oh, that's not pleasurable. Who said one-ways are pleasurable? Did I? No, never. Okay, so I'll start from the start. Sumaya,
Yes.
we all know you're a leading name from the world of health and wellness. How does it feel to look like $1 million each time you step out of your house? And that's for the glow.
Very graciously accepting your compliment.
No,
But
you deserve it.
a little bit, I would like to say my mom left me with some good genes. But it's nice, you know. It's actually what's nice now is that, you know, in your 20s and 30s, people expected you to look a certain way because that's how you age, right? So when you're looking good in your 20s and you're looking good in your 30s, it's a given because that's what we're supposed to look. I think people have started taking me seriously now when I'm 45.
My ladies,
Because
who would not want to look like that at
because-
45? I
because-
would.
Because now they're a little serious and they're like, okay, she has 2 kids, she runs a business, she works out, she finds time. So I think we must listen to her for like just a teeny weeny bit because she may have something to say. So I think that's what I'm enjoying. I'm very new on Instagram. I've been 2 years old. The algorithm of Instagram has been really kind to me. But I think what has really worked is this, that I think people are taking me seriously only because somewhere they've figured out, I have lived the lives of a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old. So that's what it is.
So we all see the outer, like say, the product, but we do not really know about the sort of strength and the struggle that goes behind it. So do you want to share a little more about that?
In the audience, I have so many people, Amrita being one of my first clients and now one of my dearest friends who've seen my journey. She's been training with me for, I think, 11 years. And I suit her, she suits me. It's perfect. So
It's a
been
healthy
hard.
marriage there.
It's been hard, because it's a man's world for me.
Of course.
Which, they, like I said, in your 30s, they want you to look a certain way. They want you to, girls train a certain way, guys train a certain way. Now all of that is broken. But what's nice is it's to be taken a bit seriously from the boys itself, because earlier they would, because I'm the mother of the pack, and we're a strong team of 40.
Wow.
But it's a journey that has been about building the brand, about keeping with the philosophy of no one size fits all, because you and I may have the same aesthetic goals, but you may have an injury, I may have an injury, you may have nutritional, choices that you need to make, you may have your time commitment. So there's so much that goes into being healthy and well. It's not just nutrition or diet or whatever. It's like a mix of everything. And I think just being true to yourself and being true to what I feel, that there's no one size fits all, is I think what has worked for us as a team.
Superb. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Rani Sahiba, as I said, you look ravishing today.
Thank you.
They say that fashion is something that you can still learn, but style is something that you're born with. So now this is a sort of a tricky question where I would love to know, because you also have Rani, of course, and then Sushant. So how much of Rani dominates Sushant's personal sense of fashion or sense of style, and vice versa?
Well, first of all, I think, style, and I think trends are so overrated.
Absolutely.
I just think as creators, we shouldn't be, put under the, under the limelight all the time and say that you must look like this and stuff like that. And I just think that each one of us has different styles, as you can see, including you. By the way, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
And but I think that we all have our personal styles, and I think when we stay true to that, like for example, when I go abroad, I just came back from London and I performed in front of, in RuPaul and Vanessa Williams.
You killed it there.
And the Spice
You
Girls.
killed it there, girl. Come
But
on,
then
ladies.
I performed in a sari and I sang an Adele song and then I sang Leila Melela.
Wow, I love
And
that.
and everybody, they knew it. So my thing is that, fashion and pop culture is very subjective and it keeps changing. And it's ever evolving, and I think that the change is the only constant. But if you ask me personally, I would say that now Sushant and Rani have come to like this consensus when it comes to fashion and style. I think they're just like they'll wear what they like. If you don't like it, then look the other way. Yeah.
That's very well answered.
Yes. Thank
That's
you.
very well answered, Rani Sahiba. Should I call you Rani Sahiba for
I
throughout
don't
the
know. I
evening?
think it's very kinky and cute. And nobody calls me that. Maybe one person I was on a sex date with. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I like where this is going.
Yes. And I was the theme was Tawaif, so I said yes.
Ooh,
It
love.
works.
Oh, love. Okay. So, Dr. Tanaya, when I first saw your handle, I was very intrigued that how could have she thought of this name? I sort of put two and two together later.
I was
So-
very drunk.
You were lovely. So that's my question: that how did you come up with the name or the handle, Dr. Cuterus, and what was the thought behind it? Don't say that you were drunk.
I really was. I wish I
Oh,
could tell
lovely.
you another answer. It involved a pub and a dear friend of mine, and we were sitting and having a chat. And the conversation kind of revolved around how we see women's health as, the uterus has to be detoxified. Why is the penis never detoxified? Why is it always the
Come on,
uterus?
ladies. Come on, that's an answer.
It makes me so angry. So I thought that, the uterus is our first home, and we always have very fond memories of our first home. And the uterus needs to be seen with a more positive light. So it's a cute home. The uterus is really cute. It's about the size of your fist when you're not pregnant. And that's adorable, man. We grow up in something that big. I love it.
Come on.
So I thought, yeah, it's cute and uterus, and I am a uterus. I'm not a uterus doctor. Huh. Uh, I care very passionately about women's health. I'm a doctor, so I thought Dr. Cuterus. It just made sense. It fit. And somebody got me a custom pin that says Cuterus. I thought the merch made sense, so I went for it.
Super.
Is it me? Maybe it's not me.
So, Orvana, it's you. So, Orvana, I mean, this also because we perhaps in an overlapping industry, and I have said it publicly many a times, that today anybody and everybody with a smartphone is an influencer. And God knows who they're influencing. Maybe the chacha and bua ki betis, or not even them, perhaps. So how does it feel? I mean, I know when you started and you've really worked hard to sort of reach where you have. So how does it feel to be like an OG in this world of bot followers and algorithms and bot likes and bot everything? I mean, like, I think bot everything, literally. I mean, yeah. So what do you feel about it?
I honestly, I just feel it feels more real. Like, I'm sure you guys, you have your followers, so you understand. Where I'm coming from, I actually used to work at Michael Kors, all right? This is 10 years back. And two of my friends came up to me, and they're like, I think you'll do really good if you became an influencer. And I'm like, that's great. What's that? So then they opened a few international influencers, and they're like, do you see the bag she's wearing, the clothes she's wearing? So I'm just like, hold on. She gets these things for free. She looks like that in them. You post a picture on Instagram, and you get paid for that. So you're saying that could be my job? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, why hasn't anyone done this before? Because I had no idea 10 years back what it was. And that time, I started, obviously, they were helping me. I would go to the park nearby, take a picture for Instagram. And that Instagram picture, that time, we didn't have stories or reels.
Yeah, we didn't have
It was that
reels
one
and all.
square.
One
So if you
square.
wanted to show the top would come, the bottom, the entire thing is not coming in the
Yeah,
picture.
and we didn't know how to like,
We didn't know
adjust
how
the
to, you
sizes or
couldn't
something,
adjust the
yeah,
size.
yeah,
There was no
yeah.
editing. There was no reels.
and we didn't
So
have editors to edit the
nothing, no
pictures and make them look
videographer.
fantastic.
And you're taking it on your old iPhone, and I started then. So today, I just feel like, when a girl gets up, and maybe you just get all the followers the day you're getting married. Through your marriage, videographers that put you, your makeup artists put you, your friends put you, you look the best during that 1 week, and after marriage, you're an influencer. And they kill it. And I give it to Delhi girls because I think Delhi girls, the fashion, I mean, come on, like everyone is so fashionable, and I don't blame anyone for wanting
Yeah,
to be
well,
an influencer. They kill it.
Of
And they
course.
deserve it. But I'm very comfortable because I'm just like, I'm doing this since 10 years. Like, I'm supporting everyone here that, you guys are lucky, but yeah, like, it loves to be the OG.
Oh,
I
fantastic.
like it.
Lovely. Ladies, are we listening to what they're talking or what we are talking? Yeah? Fantastic. So moving on, my second question, Sumaya. Fitness in India has always been sort of an alpha male domain, right? You have all those, I mean, for time immemorial, you have the akhadewalas and the pehlwans with those huge legs and thighs and whatnot. So how does it feel to break the stereotype and sort of make a name in a very, very man-dominated world? Or rather, the profession?
I think being the odd one out actually worked in my favor.
Lovely.
That's one. Two, I just kicked my entire team's ass and many more asses just yesterday. And I can tell you this, that I was the oldest one in that boot camp that we hosted yesterday. So it feels really good. Like I said, it's I'm being taken more seriously now, post 40, than I was in my 30s, because you're just supposed to have a certain level of fitness and, all of that. It's post the 40, which has actually been really good. I won't deny. But it's fun, I like the fact that I can kick many boys' asses even right now, here, in these
Fantastic.
stilettos.
So can you do more push-ups than, like, say, a very, very
I
well-trained gym
may,
boy?
no, so I may not be able to do more because they will do it all wrong. But if they did it like me,
Technique.
they wouldn't cross like 3.
Whew.
I'm
My
very
God.
very form oriented.
So yeah, so life starts at 40 and that's your mantra. Come
For
on,
me at
ladies,
least.
give it up for that. Absolutely. So moving on to Rani Sahiba. Now this is something that, especially for kids who sort of live in small towns, they've seen you on TV. You've really gone all out, broken all barriers, put the drag. I mean, of course, internationally the drag culture is really really well accepted and sort of acknowledged, if for the lack of better word. But in India, it didn't really exist. I mean, I've had friends who've sort of performed as drags at clubs, and have gotten that sort of momentary joy of that starhood and felt like a celeb at that club. But we didn't really know much about the drag culture until and unless one saw the RuPaul's Drag Race and things like that. And Sushant, you worked very hard towards bringing drag to mainstream. So if I asked you that, if you had to put a manual together for a kid who's living in, say, Chhattisgarh or Bhilai or somewhere, in a very, very, very small town of this country, and if there had to be a Bible that, these are the things that perhaps you could do right and these are the things that you shouldn't do wrong, what are those, say, 5 or 10 tips that you would like to give through this very, very prestigious platform of Hello Magazine?
First of all, I don't hold American drag on any pedestal, let me tell you. I would like to tell you that the misinformation that floats around in our country, that we are not the founders of drag, is misinformation in itself. I think that India is the pioneer of drag, and it's just that
Come
we
on.
have never embraced it, because there was patriarchy that was always floating around. And so first they wanted to, I'll tell you how drag was born in India. Now this is the fun part. And when you speak about Chhattisgarh, in fact, we learned it much later, and we anglicized all of drag,
Of course.
by, and no offense to RuPaul, I'm still coming to meet you in May, but in many more saris. But the thing is that I just want to say that in India, because women, and it's sad, but women were oppressed to an extent where they were not allowed to perform. And therefore men would perform as women.
women.
And that was drag.
The Londa Nach in Bihar is a culture,
And
it's
all
a
of that.
tradition.
So my
Yeah.
thing is that, but we never gave it its pedestal in mainstream, and unfortunately, then it just became, and then men started sexualizing it, and then the Tawaif culture became the kotas, and then the mandis and the bastis, and then my sisters are still on the street where I'm sitting here enjoying this beautiful soiree, and I still will have to see their faces when I. So I think we need to celebrate, and I think this caste and class divide that we say, and I'm from Bandra, but I never have minced my words. I would have been on the street if my parents wouldn't have given me an education. So I think that we need to also educate each other that India is the pioneer of drag.
Of course, Arjun played the drag for a year.
Yes, all of it. Our gods did drag, darling. And if anybody gets offended, well, you're
in
it's
the
too
wrong party.
fragile. and it's mostly the men that will get offended. "Hey, हमारे culture के तुम्हारा culture मेरा भी culture है, मैं ही culture हूँ, है ना? तो ये सब मर्दान की मुझे दिखाना मत, और दिखाना है तो रास्ते पे आना, है ना?
I love
दिखाती हूँ,
that
फिर
one.
मैं लौंडा नाच
मैं
दिखाती हूँ।
दिखाती हूँ. So moving on to Tanaya, when we put things on social media, and especially for girls, there are so many boys who are trolling them throughout, and like, "ए क्या बकती है, and क्या लिख रही है, तू होगी ऐसी, ए गोरी, ए काली, ए पतली, ए मोटी." So there's a lot of trolling that happens. And ladies, I would really, really appreciate if you all are listening to this and sort of in the party with us, yeah? So there's a lot of trolling and a lot of criticism that girls have to face. I mean, if your cleavage is showing, they're like, "Arey, sab dikh raha hai, bobs dikh rahe hain, ye dikh raha hai, wo dikh raha hai." I mean, yeah, the spelling of boobs is bobs, by the way. I mean, for crying out loud. Every girl here would agree to that, yeah? So how do you feel that I mean, and you're at a huge fan following on the gram, and they're all your genuine followers who listen to you, who sort of follow you for a reason, for a purpose. So how do you feel that you've sort of reached so far from where you started, and sort of have made your voice heard in a very um, male dominated and a dirty sort of trolled sort of domain? So what do you feel about it?
Feel badass for what it's worth.
Woohoo!
I think one of the things that happens when you're a young woman in, well, not just India, any place, is that first you're told to, sit down, stay humble. It's nice to own it once in a while. It feels good to, break out of that mold. But to be very honest, I come from a very different background. I didn't grow up in Delhi or Mumbai. I still live in Allahabad, where
Oh,
the culture is
wow.
extremely different. And Allahabad used to be a very intellectual hub several years ago, not
Also
anymore.
extremely conservative.
No,
I mean,
very liberal back in
yeah?
the day. Now very conservative.
Very conservative, yeah.
Which is quite interesting because now, the Allahabad I grew up in and the atmosphere I grew up in versus what I'm living in now, you start checking yourself in ways you didn't realize you're going to check yourself, because
Yeah.
it's difficult to be a woman on the internet. It's especially difficult to be a woman on the internet if you speak about sex and periods and bodies.
Of course, of course.
It's a little painful for what it's worth. And I'm glad that, I'm seeing so many other sex positive pages come up. There's been like a whole industry almost, which is so encouraging and so motivating, that so many people are able to find the voice to come up and talk about these things and encourage conversations. And I honestly feel like in the past 5 years, there's been a sea change. I came on
course.
Instagram 3 years ago. But what I've seen from when I started to now is so different, and I'm so excited to see that change. So many people coming on, owning their bodies, owning their sexuality,
Absolutely, so true.
owning their insecurities, which is such a big win on this extremely filtered and edited world of social media.
So well said.
I started a hashtag when I started my account called Filter Hatao Shakal Dikhao, because,
Wow. Very good. Filter hatao, shakal dikhao.
because I used to feel, excuse me, really bad about my face when I used to see, oh my God, I have blemishes, and like, why do I not have like that sharpest jawline that I would see on myself on a filter? So
And I see no reason for that. I'm like, you're beautiful. So
Thank
I know
you.
where she saw what she saw.
no, but I mean, when you grow up in this as a digital native, you start seeing your body through those filters. And I'm very excited to see that there's more and more people who are embracing this and embracing Filter Hatao Shakal Dikhao,
Absolutely.
and coming on to just being champions of their own lives and their own bodies. So super stoked. Very, very stoked.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Transformative journey. And I think I've been working with Sumaya on various parts of my body for a long time. And I think she's also been a part of this transformative journey where she tells me, you look good in whatever you are. You need to be healthy. And by healthy doesn't mean slim. And honestly, she taught me the meaning of being healthy. I was slim obsessed. I never could be, I never will be, but there was a bigger obsession in my head because I couldn't ever be. But that's what I'm saying. She's been a part of the journey, being a fitness advisor, being a fitness expert. She has changed so many lives by not making them slim, by making them happy. I have to say that.
For me, I think strong is sexy. It really is. It's, because
That's
it is
it.
really is strong is sexy because, I've had so many women and men, their first step into the gym is driven by aesthetics and how they look in the mirror. And, when you actually get down to extracting what you can do with your body and you realize that you can't even just, fuck.
That's a fit.
Pause, guys, pause. I see so many girls, especially now in their teens, being so body obsessed, not just girls, even boys. And food becoming a big issue with, not eating and becoming really weak and not being able to, Are you all okay? Yeah, okay. I'm feeling the heartbeat, but so, for me, it's always been you've got to stay strong, you got to look good. I can spot a dieter from a mile, I can just tell you're not eating well. So for me, it's really about being strong, being sexy, being hot, your posture, what you can do, and you just radiate that from inside out. It's really not about being
Absolutely.
skinny.
Absolutely.
And with you guys now, you're doing so much inclusive work that it doesn't matter what size you are. Yeah, who cares? Look at J-Lo. She's so freaking hot. And she's not skinny, by the way.
She's
She's
on.
hot.
She's on. Okay, so moving on. Of course it's you. She's answered. So, Orvana, now, we all live in this day and age of social media where you got to look a certain way, you got to feel a certain way. And since, I stay in Delhi and I know how busy, I'm sure all the Delhi wallas will agree to this, that there's an event every day, or maybe 3 in a day. Even in Bombay, I'm sure that's the same. There are 5 events in one day and you don't know where to go and where not to go because everybody's a close friend, apparently, also. So, absolutely. You want to be there, but absolutely, but there are so many times when you cannot be there. So there's this humongous pressure on each one of us, so to say. As an influencer, do you feel pressured that, oh my God, I'm missing out on my friend's event and I could have gone there and put the word out for them because you have an audience that could have been, their TG or things like that. So do you feel the pressure at all or ever, or you never feel it?
I honestly don't feel the pressure at all, and I'll tell you why. Honestly, events and like going for other people's these events and 3, 4 of them happening in a day has recently started. It's been like a year maybe.
Post-COVID.
Post-COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, I wasn't in India for a bit, and I had moved out. I came
Thank
back.
God you didn't miss anything.
No,
Trust
but
me.
when I came back straight to these events. And like the ones, like influencers who I'm friends with, they're like, you have to come here. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so fun. Let's totally do this. And 1 day, 2 day, 3rd week, I'm just like, I love you guys. This
my
is
God.
amazing what we guys can do and bring people together. I love you. I'll be there. I'll promote it for you. But I don't want to do this myself and pressurize somebody else for being there for me. And I don't want to do it for you either. I won't be there.
Fantastic.
Whatever you need out of me. And that does not mean I don't love you. That just means I'm exhausted. And it's just that I told you that I've been doing this for 10 years and this is very new to me. I understand, like, I love this. Like, I love this new setting. You meet
Yeah.
once in 6 months. You discuss everything. It's so fun. But on a weekly basis, for me, it got a bit much. And I did that for 3 months, like good 3 months, but I've completely stopped and I don't invite anyone. But I love everyone and kudos to people who can do this guest listing.
Every day.
I can't do it. It's not easy.
Yeah, but as they say, no, it's all business.
It's all business,
Yeah, it's all
100, but
business.
I don't feel pressure because I don't do that.
Absolutely. So my 3rd question, are you ready? Have you braced yourself up?
Yes.
Oh, totally. Okay. So now this is an experience that we all must have seen at the gyms. So when you see a guy who's sort of dolled up and he's really worked out, there's a particular walk. I'll do it for you all.
I want
They all
someone to
start-
take this on
they all
video.
start
Please
walking
send this to me.
Like this. This is very weird walk, and I'm like, where's this walk coming from? What suddenly happened? You just did some push-ups or some dumbbells or some weights, and then suddenly walk like, and then looking up. I'm like, why are you looking up? So now my question to you is that, when you see this breed of these dola shola walas who are like showing off, do you put them back in their place at times and like, mama can call the shots and like, hey bitch, watch me say it. Like, do you do that at times? You like put them back in their place?
I just need to like lift up my t-shirt and give them like a sneak peek. And that's really it.
Guys,
Because
it's the
they may
sneak
have-
peek, guys.
It's
It is the sneak peek.
It's
Come
all
on.
about the little things that show, but not all of it. It's because, these boys, they just pump up so much iron.
Yeah.
And like I said, the age is working for me. So I'm going to lap it up. But, it's very few who sport a really good, strong core. For me, it's not about like visibly seeing your six pack, but it's about visibly having a strong core. So I just need to do a little sneak peek.
Little
And
deco.
that's it.
And then they go.
And then
They
like,
go,
oh,
shit.
okay.
What did we do wrong?
In auntie ke, is auntie ke to six pack abs hai? Oh my god.
No, they have a word for that in Delhi. No,
And
they
then
say
it's like, oh my
biscuit.
god, this auntie ke to
They
biscuits
say
hai.
biscuit, hai, biscuit.
So for the longest time, I actually heard stuff like, oh my god, she's taking steroids. Oh my god, she's doing this. So I was like, listen, I'm allowed to, I've been doing this for so many years. I'm allowed to sport my six pack abs. Yeah, I have them. They come and they go, but they're there.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh, God. More power to that.
So the auntie ji has six-pack abs.
Ladies, I'm sure y'all are all jealous of that body. Come on, give it up. Fan.
Inspire you to go to the gym. If I can only inspire you to just look after your health, that's all. No, anything. Hit the gym, Pilates, walk, whatever.
So whatever works for whoever, do it. So, Rani Sahiba, they say you are the undisputed queen of drag. So if you are the undisputed queen of drag, who is the disputed one?
All the ones that didn't get booked on this panel, darling.
Woohoo! Fantastic. Woo!
Don't know. You'll make me pay for this. Jamin will be like, give me a bill. No.
Yeah?
No, but honestly, I just think, I mean, of course, you know, with the sass apart, I just think that each and every person who is out of the closet in our country owns their orientation and gender and is out there performing so that art wins at the end of the day, is,
Very well said.
is the undisputed queen of whatever they do. King, queen, whatever trans, it doesn't matter. Art has no barriers.
Absolutely. And no
Right?
gender.
Because when I sing, and you'll sing with me, okay? Mehboob mere, महबूब मेरे तेरी आंखों से मुझे पीने दे कुछ दर्द है मेरे सीने में मुझे मस्त माहौल में जीने दे. So where did the gender go? Huh? Whether you're man, woman, both, neither, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So I just think that, and then when I understood my femininity and then I used it, see, now it took Bollywood 17 years to give someone like me a debut in films, right? I just finished shooting my Bollywood film, my debut film. And then, and yeah, and, you know, on set, everybody was understanding and learning every day. Because they've not seen someone like me on set. You've not seen somebody. So, you know, even these boys and all, they'll see, look at me and they'll be like, oh my God, itna acha ga sakte hain. You know, there is talent in this person. We've seen them, ek nazariye se dekha hai na logon ko. So I think that, you know, when you break that, and that'll only break when more people come in front. And I support each and every one that comes after me. In fact, so many of my drag children are doing so well. They're on the cover of Vogue and Elle and, you know, they are my kids. And they now have taken that place because I can't dance every night, you know, in the bars. So, abhi maine mere bachchiyon ko de diya, chalo kotha chalao abhi. Like, you know, it's like chanda do yahan par. And then tum nacho. So it's like that. But I just think that it all boils down to, you know, when you see so much more representation. And then just now I came back from Harvard University where I gave a lecture and I was on a panel for the India conference. All three of us were transgender women,
Wow, that's
people.
amazing.
And one
That's
was a
amazing.
transgender doctor, Dr. Aksa. One was a transgender author and social activist. And I was a transgender performer. And it was really not about anything, but it so happened that all three of us were trans. But I think that, you know, when you show the world that there could be so much diversity within diversity, then everybody wins.
Absolutely. I think
Yes.
very well said that. Very well said. So, Tanaya. So you know how in our country there are these some hush-hush words that you don't say in public. And especially with women around. I mean, women from our smaller towns or you know, there's a sense of awkwardness that sort of surrounds women also. I mean, men can go and say like, aram se. And women will be like, oh, shh, aise nahi kehte. So has there ever been an awkward moment in a room full of women where you're trying to address a concern or an issue and they've been like, hi, kya bol rahi hai? Hi Ram, ye to bahut hi matlab zyada ho gaya. Has there ever been that with you?
I think every day is that. But on a sort of different front, I used to live in the States
Of course.
until last year, and I was doing not a panel, but like a workshop with older people, and we had some women all the way from up to the age of 70.
Wow.
So we were basically discussing genitals with them, and a lot of those people in the room didn't know you have a separate hole that you pee from and a separate hole that you menstruate and give birth from. Unfortunately, very, very common thing that most people in our country globally just don't know. We're not taught that as women. And I just made them do one exercise. So there were about 50 odd women in that group. And I just made them say the word vagina. I just said collectively, let's just say vagina without any shame.
Should we do it right now?
Let's do it.
Ladies,
I
let's
love
do
it.
this now. Let's all do this now. Tanya, would you
Will
take the
do.
charge of this and make these very, very glamorous women of Delhi do that? Come on, Tanya.
Vagina power, I love it.
Vagina power, ladies. Come on, let's all say
Let's
this.
do vagina 3 times. 3,
2.
3, 2, 1. Vagina!
One more time.
Vagina! And one last time. Vagina! Yes.
There they go. Wonderful.
Love it.
Love it. Super.
And the funny thing is, this is just one body part. Imagine if we were sitting here saying nose. Like, there's no...
Nobody would care.
What the fuck is empowering about saying a body word? But unfortunately, it is. And...
Fantastic. Fantastic.
And when we did this exercise, there's this older person who came to me. She was about 68, 69. My mother's 70, so she was my mom's age. And she came to me and she hugged me and she cried. And she said, this is the first time in my life I have said that word.
Wow.
First time
my
in
God.
her life,
Oh
at the
my
age
God.
of almost 70, was she allowed to say the word? Did she allow herself
To say
to
the word.
say, to name her body and name her body parts? We just told, you know, when we were growing up, we told shame, shame. We told private parts.
Yeah.
We told, क्या बोलते हैं? Nunu. नहीं, Nunu is penis. You know,
Nuni.
Coochie, vajayjay. Vajayjay. I've heard doctors call it vajayjay and I'm just like,
The V part. I've heard a friend say that. V part.
oh. So yeah, I mean, we gotta own it and let's stop shaming our bodies.
About time. About time. Fantastic. Come on, give it up for Late. Give it up for her. Oh, Orvana. So, you know, there's always a rule book of a career. And since the whole world of, social media or the gram is so recent and it's still so new to our, a lot of people here in our part of the world. And we're still trying to get the hack and hack the game of Instagram. Is there a do's and don't sort of a manual that influencers who are doing well have? And if you would put that together, would you have some inputs for it?
I mean, I can't speak for others. Do's and don'ts for me would just be, do keep it real. I mean, Instagram is the most glamorized version of anyone's lives that you're seeing. So you can't, when you're looking at somebody else, you can't take that seriously. And don't compare yourself to anyone else because you don't know their
Very well
battles,
said.
they don't know yours.
Of course.
So as long as you're keeping it real, it's fine.
Fantastic. So, ladies, very well said there. Moving to Sumaya. You know how, our country is dominated by Bollywood and cricketers. So, if you had the opportunity to train 3 celebrities, men and women, who would they be and why? Come on, you all want to hear that.
Hollywood or Bollywood?
Bollywood, yeah? हम इंडिया में रहते हैं. अभी क्या Hollywood? Come on.
अच्छा तो हॉलीवुड एक तो बोलने दो यार.
अच्छा बोल लो यार.
J-Lo.
Uff. J-Lo, good
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
You know why? Because everybody says, oh, she's got this done, that done. She's got nothing. Whatever she's
She's
got
so
done.
hot.
One second.
I mean,
Everyone's allowed to do whatever they want.
Absolutely.
But when she moves on stage at 53,
She
she owns it.
brings
She's
it on
doing
fire.
that freaking knee drag and she's
Absolutely.
chasing the crowd and she's doing that cartwheel. You need a level of fitness to
And
do what
guts.
she does on stage. Her knees must be super hardcore like iron. Her core must be, I don't even know, made of what. So for me, I think if I could ever train someone, it would definitely be her.
Okay.
In India, the other person who I would love to train is, I think, Sushmita Sen, because I've seen
Pretty
her.
hardcore.
I've seen her journey. And she was always a very lean girl. And recently, by the way, in the last 5-7 years, she's taken to fitness, barring her past her role that she did. But she does some crazy stuff, and you can see that she's put on a little, because it's very tough for her to put on weight. I remember in movies she was told that she was too skinny.
Yeah.
But I've seen her train on Instagram. I've had the fortune of meeting her. She trains like a beast.
Yeah, she does.
She
does.
trains like a beast. So her, and I need to also train a guy. So I think it would definitely be John Abraham, Amir Khan, Anil Kapoor, that lot.
She's got them all.
You know, that lot, because the younger ones, they've got to have it and they own it anyway. They're like born with six-pack abs.
Yeah.
These guys who are keeping it like Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
Indians.
Killing it.
I saw Anil Kapoor at that in the new Netflix show. I don't know, The Night Manager.
Yeah.
He is looking insane.
But he always does look insane.
So how is it? Yeah,
I
I,
mean,
want to eat
it's
what he's
stunning.
eating.
It's amazing.
I want to eat what he's eating, and I
Yeah.
want to eat what J-Lo is eating.
Okay,
So
if,
I want to train these guys.
if I had to just add another category, if it had to be one politician, who would that be? That's controversial. I love controversies. Oof. I would say Rahul Gandhi is so
Rahul
hot.
Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi. So by the way, he does come to the gym.
Oh,
he
he
does
does?
train with us. Yes, he does train with
Ladies,
us.
now we know where
And
we
so
gotta go and
does Robert
be on
Vadra.
the treadmill next
I
to.
don't know, but he does. He does. He does, and he's
Wow,
and Omaria.
that's amazing.
I see. I love my.
Friend there. Okay, Sudani Sahiba. I mean, we've sort of grown up in this land where we say औरत ही औरत की दुश्मन है, तेरी सास तेरी जिंदगी नरक कर देगी, you know. And then we have these slogans where it's women for women, women power for women power. So what is your take on these sort of slogans, the new age slogans for the gram or for the real world?
Well, I think there's, every community will have, its. And for example, I'll talk about my trans people and queer people. We don't fart rainbows and butterflies every time. So when you make us look like we're some fucking rainbow fairies, I'm sorry. If you come and say something nasty to me, I will put your teeth in.
Absolutely.
Whether you're a woman or man, and it's better for me because I can whoop both your asses.
Come on.
Honey, you don't mess with me. Girl, especially when I'm not wearing my nails. You don't mess with me. So my thing is that, and I say this to even trans people or even queer people, is that when you encroach a straight man or a woman's, their space, and then you misbehave, don't come expecting us as seniors to take for you, because we will dog walk you
Absolutely.
around the compound first.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We are the ones who will reprimand you first.
Absolutely.
So the thing is that I think that there are what do you call these miscreants in every community and every this thing. So I do definitely believe that औरत भी औरत की दुश्मन है और
औरत
हिजड़े
औरत
भी
के दोस्त के हैं.
because now, for example, if she's doing well, she's doing well. I remember Tanaya, I was from when we were on these, when I was on this list of Forbes 30 under 30, she was one of the first people. And of course, not to say that, my first batch of creators and stuff like that, when it was, whether it was music or fashion, and the YouTube gang. So like they were just like, I guess they because they didn't make it, and then they had passed 30, and then I was still, I still made it or whatever, but she was just like out there, supporting, and then
Sweet.
and then and then I said I was supporting her, and I don't even have a uterus. So my thing is, but I don't see it. And let's be honest, I honestly have not followed your content, both of y'all, but I have followed her. And the thing is that, but it doesn't mean that I will put them down. I would now like to follow their content after being here and listening to how empowering, especially with your journey. I think it's very beautiful that we get to do this. And even in 6 months when we meet, I think that when we get to have this conversation, we understand what the reality is. And this is the reality. For example, when is the first, or is this not the first time you're sitting with a transgender person on a panel? You see what I'm saying? So
I'm feeling awesome because, it's, what was that movie that came out with the girl who was transgender and she got married and she was really struggling? A new movie. Ayushmann Khurrana's movie. And I felt so liberated to watch this movie with my children. I have teenage girls. And coming to her, it's people like her who've made their conversations with me so much easier about sex and this and that. And that's one. B, to be able to sit and watch a movie, and this generation of these teenage kids are so gender inclusive that it's so liberating,
Yes.
because they don't even flinch with the thought that what's the big deal if you're sitting with a transgender?
Absolutely.
For them, it's not a big deal.
Yes, and which is the reason why I said that you need each and every one of us, and multiplied by 10 of us. You know, to
Absolutely.
be there on every platform. I know it's tough to make another one like us, but you know, we'll try. We'll make an effort.
make
Don't
that
worry.
effort. Super.
We'll let you
super.
know when it happens.
Let me know. I'll be
Never.
there. So when I met Tanya today in the evening and I told her I've changed a question, she was very upset that why did I change that question. And ladies, I love your attention to be here. Ladies, are we all in this one party? Okay, super. So she was pretty upset that if I changed that question or not. So I told her, no, I didn't. So here's that beautiful question that you loved. Hypothetically, if you had to pick 5 Bollywood celebrities to endorse sex toys, who would they be and why? I repeat, 5 Bollywood celebs to endorse sex toys. Who would they be and why? Go for it.
I've thought very hard about this question, so I really wanted to take it. Thank you so much. First, Mr. Shakti Kapoor. There is a great toy called the Go-Go, and Crime Master Go-Go, I mean, you have to do it, right? So number 1, Crime Master Go-Go. It should be Orgasm Master Go-Go. Number 2, Shah Rukh Khan, Dildo Pagal Hai.
Louder, Del. You can do a little better. Yeah.
Number 3, Alia Bhatt for butt plugs. Wait, I've forgotten my other ones.
Alia butt plugs.
Damn, Alia butt plugs. Yum, yum, yum. Oh gosh. Oh yes, Ranveer Singh. There's a toy called the Hitachi Magic Wand, and it's so powerful. It does not work on batteries. You got to plug it in into a socket. So it's that same kind of energy. Gotta do that. And then, gosh, I've forgotten my last. Oh, yes, Rohit Shetty. Blow up dolls because he loves to blow up things.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, thank you. I hope to see this. I hope to see the
Well, I
day
think- well, I
when all
think-
of this becomes
Well, I think
reality.
we'll ask the good teams at Hello to pass these messages to these celebs. Yeah. Okay, so Orvana. So they say that 2 actresses कभी दोस्त नहीं हो सकती. क्या 2 influencers कभी दोस्त हो सकती हैं? Like, can they be Mary Sahelis?
I actually have, yeah, can I explain myself when I answer
Go
that?
for it, go for it.
Yeah, 2 influencers being friends, and it's weird that one of them I'm going to be speaking about is here. As I told you, I wasn't
Not your
here.
sister.
No,
No,
not my
okay,
sister,
perfect,
not my mother. They're both here, but not them.
Super.
But I told you guys I wasn't in India for a bit. So when I came back, I happened to go for a first event when I didn't know what events were and what you're supposed to do once you reach there. So I come here, and it was weirdly in this mall, I think. And I reached, and it was something like this, where I was just like, okay, now this is the first time I'm doing this. I don't know anyone here. People know that I've come back to India, and I just go on the side and I'm eating something, and I'm just like, this is awkward. Maybe I should just leave because there's nobody talking to me and I don't know anyone. And maybe for 10 minutes I went, I picked up like something to drink, and 4 girls came up to me, and I had never met them before. And they're like, hey, it's so good to see you around. Like, didn't know you're back. And I'm like, yeah, you know, like, shit happened. And I just started sharing my life with them, and this happened twice. And these are girls who have never met me. And the way, I mean, I can't explain everything that happened, but the person who's never ever met you talks to you for 10 minutes and is crying and hugging you and taking care of you for the next 10 days and looking out for you in every
That's
possible
wonderful,
way.
That's wonderful.
I don't think influencers friends ho sakte hain, because honestly at this age we don't need friends. We have our friends and family sorted. As influencers, I just feel we have a separate family where when we guys meet, like, we know that the work that we do is the same. We're not competing with each other, we're rooting for each other. And I haven't experienced anyone competing with me, and I don't know if Shivani is here right now.
I think she just left.
Oh shit, yeah. But yeah, she was one of them. Like, but yeah, I haven't felt that. So I just feel influencers have a separate family. You know that. Don't you feel that with me?
Well, I mean, your family, so yeah, I
Yeah,
do feel
see?
that. Yeah. Okay, so with this last question, we do come to the end of our hot seat with hello. So my last question, ladies, is a unanimous question, and I'm sure you all will enjoy answering this. So if you could change three things in a man and in a man's world, what would they be and why? Now, each one of you can answer it, and anyone can start first. Yeah, let's start from Orvana.
I'm starting first, and I'm talking from experience. If you need to change the man, or three things about the man, you change the man.
Good one, good one. Fantastic. Okay, I know you have your answer prepared.
Yeah, therapy.
Woo.
We need to normalize therapy. We need to normalize men owning their emotions. They also have their own weird battles, like we have our weird battles.
Of course.
And they often, young men these days, I'm seeing, really struggle to find acceptance for their emotions and for vulnerability. So let's normalize some vulnerability and normalize having emotions for men.
That's wonderfully said.
I think for me it would just be one thing. You know, it's man, and the synonym is ego. I think they need to just drop that, and I think a lot of other stuff, which is the softer side, just comes through. You know, they just put on this. It happens to me at work all the time. You know, just because they're bigger than me with the bigger biceps, I have to tone down a lot of ego. So I've had a lot of experience. My
Personally,
team,
yeah.
majority of my team is men. Like
Men, yeah.
we're a team of 40, and 35 of them are all men.
Wow.
They're a strong men team, and so I'm always battling their egos. You know, so I think if
But
they
you
just
do have 5 women,
I do have
which
5
is
women.
amazing.
And we kick ass.
And that's amazing. More power to that.
so egos, I think.
Egos. You say it, babe. You know the answer.
Oh, please. Stop it. No. No, I just think we shouldn't give up on men. You know, my thing is that it's just, you know, when we talk about equity, I just think that definitely we would be foolish if we said we're not living in a patriarchal country. But I just think that if we give up on men, honey, we are going to need a lot of sex toys. And I don't have the time. I don't have the, you know, forearm muscles for that. I need a man to do his job. But the thing is that three sizes in a man, sorry, what did you say? It was large XL and XXL. No. But no, I just think we can't give up on our men. And I just think that we need to respect their emotions. And we need to tell them that emoting is fine. And to emote is absolutely normal. And it's just like, for example, like my father is as important to have an emotional conversation with me. In fact, he understands me more than my mother.
That's wonderful.
And I just think that, you know, we don't give them as much as they deserve in terms of, you know, emotional intelligence. And I just think that they'll open up only once we allow them. So please open up. Not like that, but, you know, just emote more, man.
Emote more, man.
Yes, that's all.
Love that.
Open up means Jamin was looking at me like, I was like, no, Jamin, just sit down.
I will. Okay. Wait, I'll come to you.
By the way, it's 50-50.
It's actually 40-40-20. 40 men, 40 women, 20 unexplained.
One very important thing that men also need to understand, and of course need to change in themselves, that it's not always the women who's not fertile. Of course, it's men also. It's a 50-50, like you just said. Yeah, so it's equally important for the men also to understand that at times they are not fertile.
And very often,
Very well said.
unfortunately. especially
Anybody else who
women-
wants to sort of answer this question from the audience? Would you want to add 3 things that if you had to change in a man or a man's world, what would they be? Come close to me. Oh, I'll walk to you. Come here.
Okay, so what do we have to change in a man? The list is so long. Where do I begin from? I think men need to get their head. Okay, can we do this in another minute? Because I have to filter.
Okay, go for it. Okay, that does bring us to the end of the hot seat with hello. May I? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I said, she said, you know, they need to get in the head or something. I said, yes, head is very important. It's absolutely, you're right, you hit it. Exactly. Exactly. If you give your man good head, he won't go anywhere else.
Yes, darling, you nailed it. Like to such a bullseye, I have no words to say. But the list was so long, I didn't know how to filter it and bring
No,
it
but I
in.
loved it. You just said the head. I mean, it's,
Because
yeah,
I-
great,
nobody
fab.
begins from here. Everybody
Both
begins-
heads, both heads,
Both
both heads.
Likewise. But yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. With that very head-heavy note, this brings us to the end of the hot seat with hello. Thank you, ladies. You've been wonderful. A huge round of applause for all these lovely ladies here.
And a big round of applause for our panel. Please, moderator, our moderator. Put your hands together for the very last.
But may I please request Ruchika to join us here for the team, like the group picture? Yeah.
Akshat, you nailed it. Forget the man, forget the women, forget the vagina, forget everything. You freaking nailed it. Brilliant. Absolutely. I know. Signing him up. Yeah. Thank you so much. From influencer to many new terms on sex. Oh, come on. I'm going to put it down in another dictionary. And Sumaya, we need to resume our sessions. And Maharani, no more Rani. After this session, she is Maharani. Really. It was an absolutely enlightening, enthralling, and educative session. And I think, you know, the jest stayed, the humor stayed, and the wit stayed. And that is what we are all about. We don't need us men. Men only give us tears. See, we are only laughing with ourselves. Yeah. So
More
on
power
that
to
note,
that one.
more power to that. Only women can make women laugh. Don't ever forget your tribe. That's where. So let's raise a toast to each one of us.
Fantastic.
And until next year, we are going to celebrate this whole 2023.
Absolutely.